We live right now in a world where organizations are trying to wrap their heads around cybersecurity generally, internally, but at the same time trying to figure out how do I manage the risk of my business partners. There's federal government regulation, there's state regulation, there's international regulations and laws. There's not a lot of collaboration happening to recognize the work that's being done from one standard regulation and/or framework to another.
When you look at the DNA of all the different types of compliance initiatives that are out there, they really boil down to 2 or 3 different frameworks. Not to mention that the relying parties and the stakeholders that are asking for all these different certifications. In many instances, it's not relevant in terms of what they're asking for.
We need to standardize to make the whole process more efficient and less redundant and arguably less costly, because having to fill out a questionnaire while getting HITRUST certified, while getting a SOC 2, satisfying a NIST requirement from the federal government is completely inefficient.
But we also need to educate the community on what they should be asking for and what they should be doing in order to understand the risk that they're exposed to.
I personally think HITRUST is the best way to do this because we're mapped to all of these other frameworks. It's easy to pull in where there's gaps in controls into your HITRUST assessment and then report out as it relates to these other standards, regulations, or frameworks.
I think the translation layer is really the value in the framework and the process. And I bring it back to education, right? We need to educate the community relative to validated, trusted assurances in order to understand how it covers off on all those different authoritative sources.
HITRUST is a big part of this solution. It's not the end-all, be-all in the sense of we still have to satisfy regulators and other entities, but you put HITRUST at the foundation, it makes the bubbling up of everything else that much easier.
There's a call to action. As a community, this does not make sense. We all know it. So let's stop being complacent and let's raise our hand and come together to try and fix the problem.